Hello everyone, my name is Admiral Prince Eric and welcome back to my channel. I'm pretty a long while ahead for recording my video last week because it's for Holy Week, but I did take on the second part of the public test 12.3 was an exception. But it's usually the same, but I did have it recording my time on gameplay, but I really wanted to show some my first impressions way back, but I'm finally due ahead for technically some new ships will be available right now as of this progress, but looking forward to it. So let's get on. Okay, so the last time we got a recently devblog was fully released right prior before the update 12.3. Okay, so the first one is the early access to pan-European destroyers, return of convoy, repeated battle entry with the same ship, and other upcoming features. This this blog posted on 7 a.m. on Thursday, April 30th. Okay, so early access to pan-European destroyers. In this update, the early access to pan-European destroyers will begin. In honor of the event, thematic permanent camouflages for Tier 8 and ships and a commemorative flag have been added to the game, and the port of fjords has been decorated for the occasion. Okay, so example, this is a permanent camouflage for the top tier of pan-European gunboat destroyer Gans. And here's a commemorative flag, as well as the fjords, which is going to be a awesome good looking style. Convoy returns once again. The convoy will return once again in update 12.4. This time, the battles will be held in a 12 vs 12 format, utilizing playing tier 8 to 10 ships. But this time, we updated the battle types since the last iteration as follows. Added a new map to the midst on Haven. Updated bot behavior. Transport ships now change their speed to dodge torpedoes instead of changing their course. And the interface was improved. Detailed information about the battle type will be shared at a later date. Okay, this is gonna be a third time convoy once again. This is gonna be super exciting, but the tracking course up ahead will be changed. This time, the convoy which is going to be the mates one. Similarly, the map goes on escort the payload like the other games, like Overwatch and Team Fortress 2. Okay, repeated battle entry with the same ship. Okay, this is most exciting for. So, update 12.4 introduces a new feature that will allow players to enter a new battle with a ship that was just destroyed without having to wait for the current battle to conclude. This way, you'll be able to fight more battles playing your favorite ship during a game session, and this option should help you speed up your game progress on your favorite ships. You will be able to enter the battle after your ship is destroyed directly to the exit screen of the current one. This change won't affect clan battles. Alright, this is my first time that ever saw accounted for in the upcoming 12.4 update. So while I'm waiting around the ship while after the game is finished, because your ship is destroyed, you won't have to wait. But I'm going to excited for. But repeated battle entry with the same ship is usual pretty positive. But I'm still doing right up ahead for grinding as usual. The main objective was to write on purpose is to get on the top tier, especially for some getting more credits, ships XP, and free XP as usual. Okay, contents additions and changes, which got a Kleber CLR with similar parameters to Kleber, but with a unique appearance. And they also got a commemorative flag, new temporary resource, colorful tokens, and a colorful regatta container. Here are the content and drop rates of the colorful regatta container. Here are some of the lists you ever wanted the chances to obtain for resources, signals, and especially some tokens. Here are the Dragon Bolt patch, add the achievements for the future clan battle seasons. Updated the notification window. Now we include 3 permanent plots, the battle results, inventory, and etc. As well as one temporary one which will include notifications related to the game updates. Notifications for successful actions that the player has taken part in, such as purchasing something or completing a correction, will not pop up. However, they will still be displayed in the notification history. It's completely updated interface and appearance of most notifications. Added grouping now notifications related to one action and group into one message. For example, all rewards after opening a container or the deduction resources together with the items acquired when purchasing a bundle in the armory will now be displayed in one notification. Please note that all information in the development blog is preliminary. Announced adjustments and features may change multiple times during testing. The final information will be published on our game's website. So, in that moment for the closed test 12.4 does, which is going to be after the release the update 12.3, I'm going to see exciting for in the public test 12.4, which is gonna be surprisingly, it's gonna be on April, late April. I promise this is gonna be this might be predicted. Okay, so next one, which is gonna be the new ships closed test 12.4. This time was posted accordingly on White Gaming, posted at 2 a.m. on April 14. Okay, and surprisingly, we have something the new upcoming Tech 3 ships. This time, a Spanish cruisers. A branch of Spanish cruisers has been added to the game for testing, as well as the Dutch cruiser Van Speyk, German cruiser Skill, and the Pan-Asian destroyer Lucian. For the upcoming closed testing session, a branch of Spanish cruisers will be added to the game. Ships of the branch rely on main battery guns with good fighting range. They are also armed with torpedoes, which have short range. The ships have good concealment but below maneuverability. Starting from tier 7, the ships gain access to burst fire alternative fire mode, which additionally increases AP shell penetration and damage. Main battery guns have flat ballistics or low damage per minute. The ships also have high speed. Okay, this is my first time up ahead using the burst fire alternative mode, which is gonna be a similar for a super ships like, for example, cruisers such as the Conde, Annapolis, Edgar, and some destroyers are Soki and Yamagiri. Okay, the new ships have a good choice of consumables. Remember though, the repair party for that should be on tier 9 ships. Okay, Hydrokinetic Surge starting from tier 4 and the option to instead equip defensive A-fire in the same slot starting from tier 6. Next, repair party and fighter or spotting aircraft in one slot starting from tier 7. But the Spanish cruisers will be going to use a repair party but not on tier 9, but this time goes on the tier 7. Okay, here we are some Jupiter, the Spanish cruiser tier 1. It is basically based on the Jupiter class mine layers, which is named after the Roman gods. Here are some ship description as follows. The next one, the Spanish cruiser Mendes Nunez. Ships Blas de Leso and the Mendes Nunez are based on the British C-class cruisers. However, they called it the Blas de Leso class cruisers of the Spanish Navy at the time. Next one, the Spanish cruiser Navarra, but this is going to be a tier 3. And it is named after the wife of the reigning king of Spain at the time, which is Victoria Eugenie of Battenberg. However, the tier 3 Spanish cruiser Navarra is based. It is a Reina Victoria Eugenia class battleship, but please, this is not the historical accurate though. Here are the Spanish cruiser Navarra, which is going to be a tier 3 ship in the game. Okay, next one is the Spanish cruiser Almirante Severa, tier 4. Okay, the ship is based on the same name, Spanish cruiser Almirante Severa, which is the lead ship of the Almirante Severa class cruisers of the Spanish Navy. The lead ship was named after Pascual Severa Huaytopete, a prominent Spanish naval officer with the rank of Almirante who served a number of high positions within the Spanish Navy. Okay, next one is the Spanish cruiser Galicia, tier 5. Okay, so tier 5 is going to be there's going to be a member of the Almirante Severa class cruiser. But as initially named as Príncipe Alfonso and Libertad, finally goes on to Galicia. Next one, the Spanish cruiser Baleares. It is named after a Balearic Islands part of Spain and is a member of the Canarias class cruisers. Okay. So we did right now up ahead some Canarias, which is the name after the island located in the Atlantic Ocean. And yes, that is the lead ship of the Canarias class cruiser, while Baleares will be represented right now in the tech tree. So I'm going to sure to be find out. Accordingly on the Wikipedia says, the Spanish cruiser Baleares, which is a member of the Canarias class heavy cruiser of the Spanish Navy, which is named after Balearic Islands. You know that is a part of the Spain. But we finally learned about this, the upcoming tech tree, the Baleares, which is the Canarias, is the premium one. That's the lead ship. I finally acquired that in late 2022. Next one is the Tier 7 Spanish cruiser Asturias. Okay, Asturias is gonna be a something. It's gonna be a constant like the Amalfi. Sorry for. Here our main ornaments consist 203, and especially it looks like a Sara. You know that? It's gonna be a familiar. Next one, the Tier 8 Spanish cruiser Cataluna. Okay, Cataluna. Okay, this is not yet information about the ship's history so far. Well, this is invented by the Wargaming. This time, the Cataluna's arm is 203mm triple gun mounts. However, in which this is similar tactics like the Amalfi. Next one is a Tier 9 Spanish cruiser Andalusia. Parallel in the war construction and repair the ships of the fleet. Okay, this time the most common variety is the 3 triple gun turrets with gun ranging caliber from 203 to 254mm guns. Okay, this is gonna be a Brindisi. You know that? A cruiser with a speed of 36 knots. This is not the historical accuracy of that ship, but the ship that's invented by the Wargaming. Finally, the top tier of the Spanish cruiser Castilla. Okay, the Castilla is gonna be the ship's appearance like a Napoli, which is the Italians. Well, accordingly, they simultaneously with their own development of heavy cruisers, Spanish engineers were in close contact with the Italian college and adopted from them the latest achievements in the field of armor and armament of ships. Okay, the projects of Ansaldo cruisers and the project of the Super Washington cruisers from the fellow shipyard. Okay, so the ship is basically contrast about that. It looks like the same similarity like a Napoli with some of these secondaries, but I don't know. But Napoli presents features the main ornaments looks like, and the secondary looks like, but it would only fire HE shells. But a torpedo otherwise, which is not quite known. Here are the ship stats. I could something the Spanish cruisers might be a torpedo ornament as well. And yes, it does. Starting for Tier 4, we got the Almirante Severa, which is going to be armed some torpedo tubes. That's right. I was right for that. Now, starting this Spanish cruiser Asturias, which is a Tier 7. Here are some when you see the burst fire, it will go a rapid fire main battery gun, but after this, the burst fire, it will get cost a long reload time, just like a super cruisers and super destroyers, as well as the Tier 10 Spanish destroyer Alvaro de Bazan, which is released that last year. Okay, starting for this Spanish cruiser Asturias, the long main battery reload time after using burst fire 45 seconds. Burst shots is gonna be 1.2 C. Okay, this is the maximum. It also features the Spanish cruisers, which is going to be a airstrikes. Although of which this is going to be the second time airstrikes, which is going to be the same as usual from Dutch cruisers. Okay, so far we have something recognizable. This starting from tier 5 Spanish cruiser Galicia. It could be, so please, this is not not quite for that. But we'll see up ahead in the video on others. Okay, so this is a top tier. We had main armaments consist 254 millimeter guns, 17.1 kilometers. The torpedo range is gonna be a so these top tier without using a torpedo reload. So torpedoes. Okay, so the torpedoes are gonna be present 2.5, 533 millimeter. The range is gonna be a 8 kilometers. Alright. Accordingly, the ship's name is risen. By the 1930s, one of the three options had traditionally been used for the naming of the cruisers of the Spanish Navy. The first in honor of famous commanders who distinguished themselves on the battlefield, such as Mendes Nunez or Almirante Severa. The second in honor of the royal family like Reina Victoria Eugenia and Príncipe Alfonso. But in 1931, Spain became a republic, and these ships were renamed República and Libertad, respectively. However, their Navy adventures did not end there. The first landed in hands of the nationalists in 1936, the second in 1939. Since Franco had no immediate intention to restore the monarchy, naming ships after members of the royal family was scrapped. However, it was only the fad until Francisco Franco's death in 1970s, but after that, the monarchy has been finally returned to restored. Therefore, a third option was used. The historical regions of Spain, such names in 1936 were already received by the new cruisers Canarias and Baleares. For the Canary and Balearic Islands, which is administrated by Spain, República became Navarra and Libertad became Galicia. The province of Navarra supported Franco in the Civil War, and he himself was from Galicia. However, such names had a long tradition. From 1903 to 1929, the cruiser Catalunya served in the Spanish fleet at the end of the 19th century. Aragon and Castilla served and sank at the Battle of Manila with the U.S. Navy in 1898 during off the course of the Spanish-American War. We decided to follow the same rule, adding to the cities near the coastal regions of Asturias and Andalusia. Alright, the Tier 8 German cruiser Schkiel. Okay, Schkiel is based on the famous like the P-class cruiser, or simply, and yes, this is historical, the P-class cruisers. In the late 1930s, the leadership of the German Navy developed a project for a naval blockade of Great Britain using its raiding forces. The main striking force in this regard was to be 12 P-class cruisers, created on the basis of development of Deutschland-class pocket battleships. In 1939, contracts were signed with shipyards for the construction of these ships, but the order was subsequently cancelled in favor of the Oak-class battle cruiser, which has again appeared, like for example, Aegir and Siegfried. In the original documentation, this type of ship is indicated as Handelsdestroyers, also known as Raider. So this is my first time up ahead the Tier 8 German pocket battleship cruiser Schkiel. Something know that is a P-class, and yes, was a plan of 12 heavy cruisers of Nazi Germany's Kriegsmarine. They were a successor of the Deutschland-class cruisers. Design work began in 1937 and continued until 1939. At least 20 designs were submitted, with none of them being considered. These are main ornaments. This is going to be the similar of the Deutschland-class cruisers, some of which the Admiral Grachby, 283mm main guns in one triple turret forward and one more turret aft. Okay, this is going to be the same turret layout like the Admiral Grachby. It has two 150mm double secondary gun turrets as secondary ornament, with one being positioned above, and just four of the aft of the main 283mm main turret. So I like that, you know. So skill, I like that. But because of that, you'll see up ahead in the video gameplay for some time. But I was going to be the premium cruiser is going to be available for in the near future when this German pocket battleship cruiser skill will be available right now in armory in the custom doubloons. So yes, so skill is based on the P class cruiser. You know that is gonna be the main elements. Well, as usual, here's our the depiction. It's gonna be a D class design. P class was broadly similar but differed in some respects. Most notably, the arrangement of secondary and anti-aircraft armament. So that's the end of the story. But okay, so a D class cruiser, which is gonna be the Germany, pair of German heavy cruisers consists a Panzerschiff. So we definitely see up ahead on the YouTube going forward about this Tier 8 German pocket battleship cruiser skill. We'll see about that. The consumables are represented by trademark German hydroacoustic research, defensive A-fire, and a catapult fighter on different slots. The hit points is gonna be 56,800. Main battery consists 2x3 283mm. Firing range 70.3. Torpedo tubes we got 2x4 533mm. The range is gonna be 6 kilometers. Okay, this is gonna be the standard German torpedo. So consumables we got damage control party, hydroacoustic search, defensive A-fire, and a catapult fighter. However, this Tier 8 German pocket battleship cruiser does not use right now a repair party. According to the name, Scheel is named after the Ferdinand von Scheel, which is a German national hero who raised an uprising against the French in 1809, which is during Napoleonic Wars, in which became the prologue of the War of Liberation 1813, which is the Sixth Coalition, after Napoleon's disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812. Next one, the Dutch cruiser Van Spee, the Tier 9. In 1938, against the backdrop of international tensions, the Dutch Ministry of Defense decided to strengthen the fleet. In 1939, projects were readied, mostly similar to the German Scharnhorst. Okay, it was decided to reduce the size of the ship. The government was inclined toward the opinion of the 16,000-ton cruiser with a speed of 33 knots, and a main battery, a caliber 240 or 280mm. But in order to provide sufficient armor, it had to be reduced to a smaller caliber, the 203mm. If the project had been further developed at the end of the Second World War, the ship could have received enhanced air defense. The consumables are represented by hydroacoustic search, defensive A-fire, and repair party with a short cooldown in different slots. Okay, so details stats of the ship will be shared at the later dates. Okay, so Van Spee, the Tier 9 Dutch cruiser, is named after the Jan van Spee. I'm sorry I have to be pronounced for that. But full name is Jan Karel Josephus van Spee, was a Dutch naval lieutenant commander with the United Netherlands Navy, who became a hero in the Netherlands for his opposition to the Belgian Revolution. You know what it means the ship's name does? It's gonna be the name after the person. So basically the ship looks like a Harlem with the use of the 203mm guns. Okay, so the next one is the Pan-Asia Destroyer Lucian, the Tier 10. Tier 10 is gonna be a look alike a Neutrashimi. In 1949 to 56, there was a programmed scientific and technical assistance between the Soviet Union and the PRC, under which the Soviets transferred to China, among other things, blueprints of promising warships. Particular technical documentation for the Project 41 destroyer was handed over to China. In its original form, ships under this project were not built in China, but in 1968 to 87, 15 Type 51 missile destroyers were built, which were based on the Soviet Project 41, but they recognized that it's a Neutrashimi. Lucian is armed with four 130mm main battle guns with flat ballistics and 10 torpedo tubes with regular torpedoes and relatively short range. The ship can effectively make use of her torpedoes thanks to the torpedo reload booster and good concealment values. At the same time, she deals low damage per minute due to a low number of guns and has no engine boost consumable. The consumables are represented by hydroacoustic surge, smoke generator with a short dispersion time, and torpedo reload booster on different slots. So basically, this is going to be the top tier of Pan-Asian destroyer, Lucian. You know that it's gonna be a new trashemy, but her consumables are gonna change, but this time without a repair party. But also we got a torpedo reload booster. Here are the stats going to be a Pan-Asian destroyer Lucian so far. The hit point is going to be 20,500. Main battery is 2x2 130mm. The torpedo range is going to be torpedo tubes 2x5 533mm. You can launch up to 20 torpedoes by using with a torpedo reload booster, which is good opportunity ahead, but it comes with a deep water torpedoes, but not targeting on destroyers though. So 17,933 on torpedo damage, range is about 10 kilometers, 65 knots, 125 seconds of reload time. Detectability is going to be 1.3 kilometers. Accordingly, the ship's naming reason for Lucian. The first destroyers of Type 51 for the Navy of the People's Liberation Army of China were created on the basis of the Soviet Project 41 destroyer near Trashiny, which was tested in 1952. However, in the USSR, the ship remained experimental. Since the Chinese destroyer was equipped with anti-ship missiles, it was launched very late, probably in 1950s. Sorry. Only by the end of 1960s, we presented the Project 41 destroyer as it might have looked like it had been built in Chinese shipyards in the mid-1950s. According to the rules adopted by the PLA Navy, destroyers are named after major cities in the country. The main shipbuilding center of China is historically located in the city of Dalian, which in 1950 was merged with the neighboring city of Lucian into the Luda agglomeration. Therefore, the Type 51 destroyers built there are named according to NATO classification as Luda class, and the ship of one of the cities of this type was called Dalian. Dalian, meanwhile, which is going to be a Tier 9 Pan-American cruiser at this time. We reasoned that the destroyer created according to the Soviet project could have been named Lucian. Please note that all information in the development blog is preliminary. Announced adjustments and features may change multiple times during testing. The final information will be published on our game's website. So far, this is going to be a technically super exciting for these new ships up ahead, especially the upcoming Tet 3 ship, the Spanish cruisers. However, my predicted is going to be a Spanish cruiser to be here on early access sometime in the third quarter of 2023, after the Pan-European gunboat destroyers to be on full release. Accordingly, the Pan-European destroyers will gonna be start on early access on May 2023 with the release of the update 12.4. I promise for that. This is gonna be a theoretical. So the Spanish cruisers indeed, which is gonna be after the full release of the Pan-European gunboat destroyers, which is consequently might be released sometime on July 2023. I hope, guys, this is going to be theoretical, but I might gonna get predicted. Okay, so the last one, the most recently devblog is the Dmitry Posharsky close test 12.4. Was the devblog posted on April 15 at 12 a.m. Okay, so Dmitry Posharsky is named after the person who led the Russian soldiers to liberate Moscow to occupy the Polish at the time of the Russia during a chaotic time of troubles. Alongside, you know that the name personification was, but it was meaning much less for the history. Okay, so Dmitry Posharsky is a member of the Serblor's class cruiser. It's a Project 68 base. Was laid down in Leningrad at plant number 189 in February 1952, launched in June 1953, and commissioned in December 1954. In February 1955, she was integrated into the Northern Fleet, but in the summer of that year, she was transferred to Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky, known as Petropavlovsk, becoming part of the 40th Cruiser Division of the Pacific Fleet. In 1961, she was transferred to the 9th Division anti-submarine ships. In 1967, to the 10th Operations Squadron, permanently located in the Indian Ocean. Okay, so this is gonna be a stats for Wikipedia. Accordingly, the Soviet cruiser Dmitry Posharsky. Okay, this is gonna be full interesting. Okay, so let's get started. The ship is armed with 12 152mm main battery guns, which use only AP shells with improved ricochet angles and flat ballistics. The cruiser is also armed with torpedoes with very short range. The ship deals high damage per minute and also has quick rudder shift time. Cruiser also has back concealment. Okay, this is technically the Dmitry Posharsky, the Soviet Tier 8 light cruiser, is going to be armed only AP, but not without HE, similarly like Mikhail Kutuzov, another Serblor's class cruiser. Consumables are represented by short burst smoke generator and hydroacoustic surge or defensive AFI in one slot. In true, this is gonna be the same like a Mikhail Kutuzov. Mikhail Kutuzov has a smoke generator, while her sister ship Dmitry Posharsky uses a short burst smoke generator. Oh my god, Wargaming, what the heck is the ship? Oh my god. The hit points is gonna be the same like Mikhail Kutuzov's. Mikhail Kutuzov's hit points. 7 seconds for main battery reload time, only arm AP but without 8 cheat shells. This is truly ridiculous. Okay, this is gonna be the Soviet light cruiser. It's gonna be the same, similar like the Pan American cruiser and the British light cruiser. You know that what this means? This is gonna be honestly, this is gonna be a joke. So the torpedo tube's 2x5, 533mm, and it's gonna be the same of 4 kilometers. What the fuck? Are you going to be the survival of the? You say the cruisers get easily get citadel hits from a battleship's main caliber. What the fuck? Oh my god. Here are the stats gonna be ahead so far, but please note that all information in the development blog is preliminary. Announced adjustments and features may change multiple times during testing. The final information will be published on our game's website. Oh my god. We finally revealed to the viewers right that for the development blog so far, but I'm still excited for. Okay, so that's for the end of our video today. So I'm gonna keep looking forward for some time. You know that it's gonna be getting ready to be top form. But I'm going exciting for in update 12.3. It's gonna be a tier 9 Japanese battleship Dyson for a darkened event. Hey, take note guys, I'm gonna make my recorded a video soon for a Dyson in the gameplay on live server, but I promise for that. So that's for the end of our video. So thank you guys so much for watching, everyone. So please like, subscribe, and comment for the. So you might got a questions going to be looking forward. So thank you guys, and I will see you in the next one.